Hi, Dr. Tamara Harville here, and I am going to talk about sentences, what a clause is, how to unlock rules of subordination. So this PowerPoint is entitled, What the Beep is a Clause? Basically, the clause is anything that has a subject and a verb. It can simply be two words, or it can be very long, but if there's a subject and a verb, it's considered a clause. A simple sentence is basically an independent clause because it can stand on its own independently. It doesn't need any additional help. But a dependent clause can't stand on its own. Therefore, it's dependent upon the rest of the sentence. Think of this as like a mother and a child. A mother is independent. She can stand by herself. She can do things by herself. But if she has that child, the child can't do things by itself. Even though it may have a subject and verb, it needs its mama. And I'm going to explain that a little bit better. And be cautious because both dependent and independent clauses have to, or will have a subject and verb. So what's the difference between them? Well, an independent clause, like I said, they both have subject and verbs, could be simple sentences such as, Mom went outside for a smoke. Justin lost 100 pounds on the new broccoli diet. Pluto is no longer a planet. See, spot, run. Now on this last one, you may want to say spot is your subject, but it's not because who is doing the seeing here? This one is called the implied you. You're the one seeing spot, run. Now an dependent clause that depends on another sentence to hold it up, like a mama, a simple word can change that. For example, after Mom went outside for a smoke. Even though they have the same words, because of the word after, this can't stand by itself. It's a fragment. It needs another sentence to hold it up. So after Mom went outside for a smoke, it started raining. Even though Justin lost 100 pounds on the new broccoli diet, his breath really stinks. Although Pluto is no longer a planet, we still love it. And if you see Spot run, could you go catch him? Okay, so subordinating conjunctions, and it looks like I'm covering up part of the word conjunctions. There's a whole bunch of them. I thought I got rid of all these little one-at-a-timers. And while you're not expected to memorize them, you can tell that if you have one of these in front of a sentence, it's not a sentence that can remain on its own. If I said, before the groceries were unpacked, it needs more. It needs another sentence. So these are subordinating conjunctions. Compound sentences. There are three different types of compound sentences, and they actually connect two of these simple sentences together, or independent clauses, and make them one. Why do we care if you have two complete sentences? Well, it helps with the flow. You don't want a lot of short, choppy sentences. You want flow, longer sentences. So combine them. Okay, so there's three ways you can do it. One is you have a sentence, a comma, a conjunction, and then another sentence. The conjunctions are the BOYFANS, is what I call them. But, or, yet, for, and, nor, so. You can just use a semicolon. This one's usually one that's confusing, but a semicolon has a complete sentence on each side. And then you can use one of those conjunctive adverbs in a combination with a semicolon. So the BOYFANS, but, or, yet, for, and, nor, so. A simple sentence, she waded in the shallow end of the pool. Another simple sentence, he swam in the deep end. So combine them. She waded in the shallow end of the pool and he swam in the deep end. It just flows a little bit better. Okay, the infamous semicolon, because a lot of people don't know how to use this. But it's my favorite way to connect two sentences that really belong together. So, Sandy had been missing for a week. I suspected foul play. When you use a period, it's kind of a longer pause. It's a full stop. But a semicolon's not quite as long a stop, so it kind of makes the sentences stick together a little better. Sandy had been missing for a week. I suspected foul play. And then these are conjunctive adverbs, a long list. When you use these, a lot of people actually start a new sentence with them. How many times have you started a sentence with the word however? Or also. That's a common one. Or in addition. If the sentences really belong together, put a semicolon before them and put the two sentences together. Issues, well, if you don't connect sentences correctly, you have what's called run-on sentences. And these are when two complete sentences or two independent clauses are put together with no punctuation. It can be simply the word and, but you have to have that comma before the conjunction. So Jennifer passed the last quiz. She is so smart. The two sentences there need to be separated. When two independent clauses or two simple sentences are combined with only a comma that separates them, this is called a comma splice. You need to add that conjunction. Jennifer passed the last quiz. She is so smart. Jennifer passed the last quiz for she is so smart. Because she is so smart, but then you wouldn't need the comma. Okay, complex sentences. This is the combination of the simple sentences, or an independent clause, and one or more of the dependent clauses. So it's a family. Delta received an A on her quiz. Perfectly good sentence. Since she studied all night. Well, without the since, she studied all night is a perfectly good sentence. Put them together. Since she studied all night, Delta received an A on her quiz. Compound, complex, and it doesn't get much harder than this. This is when you combine a lot of sentences together. Two or more parents, one dependent or more. Tom studied the hardest questions. Perfectly good sentence. Meg simply flipped through a magazine. Perfectly good sentence. Before the exam started. Well, if you don't have the before, the exam started is a sentence. So you stick them all together. Before the exam started, Tom studied the hardest questions, but Meg simply flipped through a magazine. So the before sentence attached to the Tom sentence, that's the complex sentence. And then the Tom sentence connected to the Meg sentence with the word but, that's a compound sentence. That's why this is compound complex. And I know this can be a little difficult sometimes, but the more you practice with it, the more you know how to do it, the better it'll be for you. So, Tamara Harville signing off, and I hoped I helped you.